Yo, what's up guys, my name's Hakiii and welcome to the best awesome SUVs in GTA 5 Online. The SUV class is pretty underrated, it doesn't get much attention at all, and there's some really cool SUVs that I'm going to be showcasing in today's video. Now here's today's notification shoutout up on the screen. If you want to win one too, make sure you got the bell turned on so you're one of the first to type hashtag HakiiArmy in the comments. And just before we actually get into the video, if you go on to enjoy it, take a second to drop a like on it, that'd be awesome. Also, if you're new to the channel, go ahead and drop us up because you do not want to miss any more videos like these. And why not help us reach 100,000 subs? That would be much appreciated. Also, don't forget to turn on the notification bell as well. Anyway though, let's get straight into it. So for the first SUV, we got the Huntsman S. This car looks amazing, especially the front of it and the headlights. There's like dotted parts on the headlights, which I think looks really cool, especially if you go and customize it at the arena and you get like the colored headlights. It looks absolutely amazing. The colored headlights specifically on the Huntsman S make a pretty freaking big difference. So it's safe to say I'm a big fan of the entire front of the car, like the grille and once again the headlights. It overall just looks really luxurious from the front of it. And another big pro about the Huntsman is that it's only $195,000. That's very cheap. I mean, that's definitely on the cheaper side of SUVs in GTA 5 Online for sure, and you can get it for that price point at the Legendary Motorsport website. If you ask me, that's worth that price point. I mean, you're getting a pretty good performing SUV as well. It's a great deal because it's on the cheaper side of SUVs, but also at the same time it's on the better performing side of SUVs. I don't think you can find it in the street. If you can, then for sure you can't just drive it into Los Santos Customs and put insurance on it. I feel like it's not gonna let you just because it's more of like a high-end type vehicle. It's got a good top speed. I did mention it was one of the better performing SUVs, but keep in mind it is still only an SUV, so don't expect anything that crazy of it. But it's still solid to drive around with, and it could be really good for car shows, especially car shows in the nighttime because of the headlights. Once again, if you blast on those colored headlights in a nighttime car show, it's gonna absolutely smoke everybody else. Everyone's gonna be in your shadow in that car show for sure. And real quick, let me just mention these are in no particular order. So coming up next, we got the Novak. I featured the Novak in my underrated car series. If you guys want to go check that out, there's some really cool cars there as well. You can also get this one at the Legendary Motorsport website, but this time for $608,000. That is a bit more than the last one, but I still think that is a good price for this specific car. The Novak's more expensive than the Huntley, probably I'd say because of the performance. I mean, the Novak's performance is substantially better. It's really neck and neck with another SUV, which I'm going to be showcasing later on in the video, for the fastest SUV in the game. Both the Novak and that other SUV are very fast for an SUV. Like, you're just going to be flying across the map with it. Like, when you start going really fast, you're going to notice it. Like, you're not going to have too much control over the vehicle either. It feels like you could just lift off like an airplane at any time because you're going so fast. So you got the performance, which is good, specifically the crazy good top speed it has. I think it also looks great as well. Like, it looks like an ordinary modern SUV, which is a good thing. Both the front and the back of it look good, and also the customization on it is actually really good as well. It's got cool liveries to choose from, some hood options, and even some spoiler options. Not every SUV in the game has spoiler options. I was kind of surprised to see spoiler options on an SUV, and I was even more surprised to see they actually look solid. Definitely go and see how they look, and you guys can see in the gameplay I decided to put one on. On to the next one now. We got the TOROS, and this is actually the SUV I was talking about. That's neck and neck with the Novak for the fastest SUV in the game. There's a lot of awesome things about the TOROS. Let's first start off with the looks of it. It looks absolutely amazing. It's actually based off of the Lamborghini Urus in real life. That's basically the Lamborghini SUV, and it looks pretty similar to the IRL version, and it's exactly what you'd think a Lamborghini would look like as an SUV. Both the Lamborghini Urus IRL and then the TOROS in-game, they look pretty similar to each other, but both of them look absolutely amazing. In my opinion, the TOROS is the best looking SUV in GTA 5 Online. Like, every single edge of it is so sleek. It just looks so freaking mean. Just every word you can think of, legit, like clean, mean, slick, just everything. We're gonna get to the performance a little bit later, but you could probably guess it's very good. Going into the price of it, this is another good price point in my opinion. It comes in at just under $500,000 at $498,000. That's just a bang for your buck. I mean, it's worth every penny in my opinion. Let me tell you, in my experience with cars in GTA 5 Online, some of the time you're not gonna get the value you're actually paying for, but you're getting a lot of value for what you're paying. Once again, this is a bang for your buck with the TOROS. Now getting into the performance, it might be the best performing SUV in the game as well. The top speed is super good on it. Once again, it competes neck and neck with the Novak, maybe even a little bit better than the Novak. The top speed is great. The acceleration is also very good, surprisingly, on it. And I noticed that when you start going really fast, the steering becomes a bit light, and I guess it's like that for every car in the game, but especially on the TOROS. Like, the slightest turn is gonna make you go flying while going at top speed. So I guess the control while going at top speed is not ideal. ideal to say the least, but it still is a very fast car, and the fact that you could go that fast with an SUV is just absolutely ridiculous. Now moving on to the next one, we got the Rebla GTS, and this is a bit more expensive than the other ones. It comes in at $1.175 million, so just under 1.2 million. So yeah, the price of it is a downside, but that's honestly one of the only downsides about this car. First off, the Rebla looks really good. It reminds me of a BMW. I'm not sure if it's actually based off of a BMW IRL. Feel free to let me know in the comment section if it actually is, but that's what it reminds me of. The thing about it is it actually looks a bit more realistic than the other ones. I mean, obviously not with the design I have on it, because I have a crazy looking design, but I mean how the car looks itself, I think it looks a bit more realistic than the other ones. So if you're into the more realistic looking cars in GTA 5 Online, you're gonna love this one. If you make a simple white or black design on it with some modern looking wheels, it's gonna look really cool. And in terms of performance, it's also up there with the TOROS and the Novak for the fastest SUV. It's not quite up there with them, but it still is pretty close. It's still a very fast SUV. The acceleration is surprisingly very good, and then of course the top speed is crazy good as well. So overall, we got ourselves a pretty realistic, great looking car with some great performance for an SUV, and also the customization is solid as well. So going back to that price point, that really is the only downside about this vehicle. I'm really not sure why it's priced so high. I mean, the performance is good, and once again, it looks great, but when you look at the other SUVs we looked at, their price is a lot more reasonable, and you're getting some good value for what you're paying for them. But if you're a person that doesn't really need to worry about the price tag, this one's a good option. Now going into the final SUV, we got the XLS, and surprisingly, this kind of reminds me of the Rebla. At least the back of it does. I mean, I definitely think those two were inspired by a BMW, and then the front of the XLS reminds me a bit more of a Mercedes. If you guys want to confirm in the comments, feel free to. The XLS in terms of performance is nothing special. It's not really going to be able to compete with the other SUVs on this list, but I still wanted to include it on this list because of the looks of it and the price of it. I love how the bodywork of it looks. It looks so clean, and just like the Rebla GTS, it also looks a bit more realistic than the other ones. So once again, if you like the more realistic looking cars in GTA 5 Online, you're gonna absolutely love this one. It looks and feels a little bit taller than some other SUVs in the game, and when it comes to the price tag, it comes in at $253,000. I think that's a solid price point. It's not a super good one, but it's definitely not a bad price point at all. And overall, I'd say it's a cool SUV that's pretty under the radar. Like, it definitely doesn't get much attention at all, and that's gonna be the best SUVs in GTA 5 Online. Let me know which one was your favorite. Let me know which ones you do or don't have. But I hope you all did go on to enjoy this video. Hopefully it did go on to help you out. If it did, take a second to drop a like on it. Subscribe if you guys are new. Turn on the notification bell as well. Anyway though, this has been Hakiii. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you guys in the next video, and peace.